Hello friends, I'm Dr. Puja Kapoor, consultant pediatric neurologist, co-founder and director, Continua Kids. So the topic of my discussion today is role of EEG in autism spectrum disorder. So what basically an EEG is? EEG stands for electroencephalogram. That means it reads the electrical activity of the brain. Encephalon is brain. So it reads the electrical activity of the brain. Like you have something of an ECG, electrocardiogram, which reads the cardiac activity. It reads the activity of the brain. As we all know that our brain is made up of neurons which have its electrical activity. And if there is some short circuit side thing or the electrical activities go haywire, then we have episode called as seizure or any abnormal body movement. So there's a correlation between an abnormal EEG and autism spectrum disorder? So a lot has been studied, a lot of studies has been done which found out that all those children who have autism spectrum disorder have higher electrical activity. They did all night studies and found out that their EEG is not as normal as the EEG of other children who do not have autism. Also, there is a hypothesis that 1/3 of the children with autism spectrum disorder have neuroregression. What do you mean by neuroregression? That means they were having few words by the age of 18 months or a year and two, and then something happened and slowly they started deteriorating over a period of 2 to 3 months, and with a normal motor milestone they start losing their social and communication milestones and then turned up into autism spectrum. So what happens in the brain that all of a sudden a normal child who was doing well in all his developmental milestone spheres start losing his social and communication milestones specifically? So because of this, they started doing this EEG and this result was found out. Although this is, I'm telling you again, this is an hypothesis and still we need to find out a clear-cut data and a correlation. But because this is the statistics of 1/3 of children, they are doing a lot of emphasis on EEG. The other thing which makes this hypothesis stronger is that there's a syndrome called as Landau-Kleffner syndrome. The semiology and the clinical features of the syndrome is more or less the same as the autism spectrum. In this syndrome also the child starts losing they just stop responding to their name, the social interaction goes off, the speech goes off, and there they found out a very strong correlation between the EEG. Once they did the EEG in these children, they found out that the EEG was very bad. It was just full of all epileptiform discharges, and once you start giving anti-epileptics, the child improved and there were much more improvement, the social communication started coming back. And because the semiology and the clinical features, the clinical features are the same as compared to autism spectrum, so this speculation or this hypothesis has become much more stronger. What does the guidelines say about it? The guidelines does not recommend doing EEG in all children who has been diagnosed with autism spectrum, even though if they have regression of the social milestones. They say the only indication to do an EEG in an ASD child is once the child has frank seizures. Once you have a seizure, then only you have to do an EEG. So what is my take on that would be, as a pediatric neurologist, I've seen not a big huge number, but a small number in which I found out that after we did an EEG, they were all who had neuroregression, and they were not doing well even after good occupational therapy and ABA therapy. And we did the EEG, and in some of them we really found they were real bad, and we started with anti-epileptic. And few months later they did have frank seizures too. So that helped me out in stating the use of an anti-epileptic in those children. and they definitely improved. Although they were not clear of all the autism spectrum behavioral disorders, but yes, they showed improvement in reading skills, in writing skills, in the understanding part of it. So these are still not the guidelines, but if you see a child who has got a regression, who's not improving with the regular therapy, you see some sort of absence episodes in child and not responding, you should do an EEG, because this is a non-invasive small test, and it's not that expensive. So even if you find one child who could improve by by giving anti-epileptics and treating this the EEG, I think will make sense out of that.